We're now at a point where we have the majority of our posts API done. When I say the majority, there is still a big component that's missing, and that is comments. But if we look at everything else, we look at the majority of the views, we compare it to the views on the original site, that is the Django-based site, that is the HTML site with the views that it is, basically the non-API site. We compare those views and they're very, very similar with the exception of the form stuff. Other than that, you have minor little things here, like such as post.objects.active, and that of course is a model manager. Active is this. So that is definitely something that you might consider using for the query sets themselves. So inside of detail or update, you might want to change how that query set works depending on who's requesting that information. And we've already gone over that, right? So this right here is a way to do that. And then of course you could do filter equals to, user is self.request.user, and you could also change like as active and all sorts of query set related things here. We're not going to cover that because we have a lot more to cover with the API itself. So this one we're going to do is transition our comments views and URLs into its own API as well. So inside of the comments app, we're going to make a new folder here. Basically, we are making a new Python module. I'm going to call it API, and we're going to go ahead and hit enter. Inside of there, we're going to make a new file to turn it into a Python module by just making a blank init file. That's __init__.py. That is now how we have our API here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a serializers.py. I'm going to make another file, and I'm going to call this urls.py. And then finally, the last one is going to be views.py. So we want to emulate what we had before. So if we click on URLs, we have a comment thread that is a detail view. Realistically, it's a detail view of one parent comment and then all of its child comments. And then we have a delete option. So this is not necessarily for the parent comment, it is for any comment. And notice it's going off of ID and all that. Let's go ahead and copy this URLs because we are going to be using that exact same thing. So in this case, I'm going to leave it commented out because we haven't created the views quite yet. And then now inside of serializers, we are going to be doing very similar serializers, but at the start, I'm just going to do a default comment serializer. I don't know yet if I want to use all of the same sort of serializers that we use for post because the comments themselves are going to be integrated into the post also. So let's go ahead and just copy the model serializer, the very top one. I'm going to copy all of this stuff, bring it into serializers, and now instead of post.models, we're going to go to comments.models, import comment, and now this is going to just be the comment serializer, and then it's still model serializer, comment itself. Let's go into the model also. We are going to do content type, object ID, and content as well as parent. So let's go ahead and grab those. I'm gonna copy the fields themselves, bring it in here into the serializers, paste it in for a moment, and we'll do content type, object ID, and parent, and then finally content. All right, get rid of these. And I might also want the actual ID field itself. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Get rid of this stuff. That was really just for our own usage so we could see it. Now what we want to do is a comment list view. So we'll show all the comments and then we'll do a comment detail view and just do those two things. So I'm going to go into my views here. And again, with the post API views, I'm just going to copy everything from our other one because for a lot of it, it's going to be very, very similar. I'm going to change a lot of this spacing though, just so it's not so spaced out. Again, from comments.models, import comment. The permissions we definitely want is owner or read only, but I'm going to go off of the posts.api permissions. So I'm going to use that one. And if I want to use any of these post limit stuff, I would want to use those things as well. So post.api.pagination, because again, it's in the post app. And I'm going to put those above the comment related stuff. So that's, again, if we need those things or we want to use those things. I don't know if we'll end up using them, but for now, we'll just go ahead and import them. And then the serializer, we're going to have this comment serializer. So get rid of the old serializer here. And the first one we said was a list view. So I'm not going to worry about the create view right now, so comment that out. The retrieve API view is really like the detail view, so we probably will have that. So let's go ahead and change this to comment detail API and comment objects at all. Comment, and then the lookup field, we can comment that out because it will be the primary key or the ID. The update API view, we might have an update API view, but I am more convinced that we'll probably have a create view and a delete view. So I'm going to leave that out for now. I'm also going to leave out the delete view for now, and then we're just going to have the list view. So this is between the detail view and the list view. Which one do we actually want to have? Well, the list view is going to show us all the comments, so we might as well keep that one in there. So I'll do comment list view. This might not be in the future, but we'll leave it in for now. Comment serializer. The same sort of search can absolutely and probably should be in there if we're going to use it. Then, of course, this stuff has to change slightly. So user is going to be in there, right? So we have a user for the comment, and then we'll probably just search the content itself. So it's just the user and the content. So go back into those views, and we'll leave content and just get rid of title because we actually don't have a title here. All right, so there's the query set. We have all of the other stuff. Search fields itself, again, we want to get rid of title. Everything else has already been imported. It's pretty much the same. So let's go ahead and import this into our URLs. We're going to uncomment this out. And again, we're using comment list API view. I'm going to go ahead and bring that in and put it above here as a new URL. And just like all of our other list views, we're just going to get rid of most of the regular expression. And we're going to get the comment API view as view. And this is going to be list or all. And then the next one is the detail view. Let's go ahead and grab that comment detail view. Back into our URLs, come in here as view. This is, we're going to continue to call this thread. I'm not going to change this quite yet. We might change it later, and then we will come back to delete. So now that we've got the URLs, so serializer, and a view set up, let's go ahead and put it into our main blog project in URLs. And I'm just going to copy the post one and just change it all to comments. Right above it, comments, comments, and finally comments-API. Okay, so the server's still running. We don't have any errors. If you do have errors, obviously we went through a lot kind of quick there. So you're going to want to check your code either against the video itself or against what's on GitHub. So let's check to see if there are any comments. So we'll go to comments, and we have no comments. So let's just make some. Makes sense why we don't have comments, because we deleted a bunch of stuff. So I'm going to go in here and say new comment, post that comment, and then reply to this and say another comment. And we could add several more comments. If we look at the thread, we see all these comments, another comment, and there we go. So this comment itself has yet another new comment. There we go. So we've got the thread and all that stuff coming through here. Now, if we go back into our list, we see one single comment, right? It's showing us the comment list. It's showing us the parent. It's not showing us the children or the child elements there. So that is definitely something that we will want to do, but we're not going to do it quite yet. But I do see that each individual comment will be there. It is also not showing us the object that it's related to, meaning it's not actually wrapping it in to the project, or excuse me, the post itself. Because realistically, what we're going to want to see is when we go to a post detail, we'll want to see basically comments and links to all of those comments. So we want to see that relationship, which is something we just don't have yet. So in the next one, we're going to start working towards that and just really fixing the way the comments are rendered individually, and then how they are going to be hooked up with the post. If you have any questions on what we did here, let us know. Otherwise, let's keep going.